Auction results. Let's talk about the Freightliners, the Volvos, the Kenworths, the Peterbilts. We're going to take in today's video 2021 models. First, before we go into the results of the Ritchie Bros auctions, we are going to talk about the national average freight rates. In the van division, currently sitting at $2 per mile as a national average. And in the first few days of July, it's at $2.09 per mile. These rates are horrific. Yes, a little bit better than April and May, as most of you already know that the last 18 months have been brutal. In the flatbed division right now, we currently have rates at $2.56 per mile. And the first few days of July, it's showing at $2.59 per mile for the flatbed division. I feel like the flatbed division is by far the most stable division over the last 18 months. Yes, at $2.50, $2.56, you can be profitable. There are definitely the pros and cons of running a flatbed division, but the reefer division, I have to say, is I'm very disappointed in. I actually thought the rates would come in a lot higher with the produce season, but actually they are holding at $2.35 per mile. The national average right now is at $2.34 per mile. And now in the reefer division, the first few days of July is showing at $2.47 per mile. We're gonna get into the Ritchie Bros auctions. We are gonna take the 2021. We'll start off with the Freightliners, work our way into the Volvos, and then we'll get into the Kenworths. 2021 models, again, these are only trucks that have been sold in the auction in the month of June. So we really wanna see where they stand. Let's go over just a few of them. So here we have a couple of them. We'll go over the 2021. You can see here with 454,000 miles, sold for $56,000. Then you have another one that sold for $50,000 with 497,000 miles. Here you have a couple of more. So we have a gray one over here sold with 535,000 miles. I feel like those mileages are a little bit high. You have another one that sold here for $37,000. Who knows what was wrong with the truck. Lot number 797 sold for $60,000. Okay, that one had only 458,000 miles. Again, brand new out of the box is probably going to cost you around 165,000 US right now. You might find it a little cheaper. There are crazy promotions right now happening for brand new units. You can get whatever you want from the dealership. I'm getting flyers all the time. I actually got a flyer for a brand new Kenworth, which was weird because they never have promotions. $197,000 Canadian, which is equivalent to $143,000 for a brand new Kenworth. So maybe I am mistaken. Maybe the prices have come down even more in the US than the 165. So here we have, 4-year-old trucks, 2021s. They have about 400 to 500,000 miles, and they're all selling for about $50,000 US, which is technically where they should be as long as the rates are $150,000 for a brand new unit. If the units climb up like they used to before to $200,000 for a brand new unit, then obviously the used truck market is also going to pick up. But I think it is a well-known fact that everybody's struggling with units. The parking lots are full. The dealerships are all full. Here in Canada also, there's promotions all over the place. They're giving free warranty. They're giving free, just buy the truck. Let's see what was a steal. I'm trying to look for something with low mileage. Something like this is a really good deal. 400,000 miles. Okay, this white one over here, 400,000 miles for $57,500. There's 3 more over here before we go into the Volvos. We can see here $62,500 is one of them. 393,000 miles. That was probably the best buy. That's something that I would buy. 2021, 393,000 miles for $62,500. That looks like a really, really, really good deal. Let's work our way into the Volvos. Not a lot of Volvos actually sold. We have only 2 Volvos that sold in the month of June that were 2021. Let's open this up a little bit more to 2023. Now we have a few more. One thing that I do notice every time I do these live auction results is I do notice that the Volvos retain their value a little bit better, probably around $10,000 more. And off the get-go, a Volvo truck is about $15,000 more, maybe $15,000 more expensive than a brand new Freightliner, and it's probably equivalent in the same price to a brand new Kenworth. So 2022, you can see here that sold in Lake Worth, Texas for $75,000. It had 373,000 miles. Was that a good buy? I think so. The next one, a 2022 Volvo, sold in Washington with 497,000 miles for $46,000. And then you have another 2023 that's literally a 2-year-old truck, 700,000 miles. Man, they must have teamed it. 700,000 miles, 2023, sold for $50,000. And then we have one more here that's a 2021, 546,000 miles, sold sold for $34,000. We do have a clear indication, I mean, how much these trucks are. There's a few more here that sold, so let's have a look. At 2022 sold for $18,500, 926,000 miles. That is insane. I don't know how within 3 years you can put 900,000 miles on a truck, but I guess it must have been teamed from East Coast to West Coast and back and forth for the entire 2 years. But here we have two more Volvos. One of them sold for $23,000 and another one sold for $50,000. Now the reason why this one sold for $23,000 is because you can see here that they don't have the mileage on, so you probably don't know what the real mileage is. And then you have another one here that sold for $50,000 with 483,000 miles. Not a lot of Volvos, but right now let's get into the Kenworths. There have been 10 Kenworths that were sold in the month of June at these auctions. Let's start off. Again, I like the aerodynamic trucks. I hate flat nose trucks. That's just my opinion, but those things will put you out of business. But anyways, here we have a 2023 Kenworth that sold for $67,000. That is unbelievable. Literally almost a brand new truck for $67,000. That's nuts. Now we have another one here from 2022 that sold with 154,000. This is like brand new trucks. You can see it's missing the bumper. Either way, 154,000 miles, literally brand new truck, sold for $40,000. Then you have a 2022 Kenworth T680. These look like they are the next gen trucks, but $31,000, 466,000 miles. The one after that, the red one, sold in Las Vegas, Nevada, 604,000 miles, sold for $34,000. Then you have another 2022, again sold for $34,000. Here is a decent one, this brown one. It has 452,000 miles. How in the world did this sell for only $27,000? No idea. Then you have another 2022 that sold for $28,000, and then you have another 2022 sold for $23,000. So I don't know what's wrong with these trucks. I don't know what kind of engines they have. We can actually go inside and look and see what kind of engines. Why in the world did they sell for so cheap? PACCAR MX engine. Okay, I think that's the reason behind it. All three of these brown trucks had the PACCAR engine, and I think somebody brought it up in the comments before, and they told me that you would see a significant difference in the selling price between a PACCAR engine and a Cummins engine. When I did look into it, they were 100% right. The resale value of the Kenworths makes a huge difference on the kind of engine that is in them. So let's look over here at this 2023 and see if this one also has a PACCAR engine, or is it a, yeah, so this one is also a PACCAR engine. For those of you that are interested in the flat nose trucks, here's one that 2022 sold for $90,000. Okay, what kind of engine does this one have? Got a Cummins engine, $90,000, 2022 flat nose truck. I know nothing about them, so I can't really comment on them. And then I have another one over here, same thing, 2021 Kenworth W900, and yes, it has the Cummins engine in it. Also sold for $90,000. So you can see that the Cummins engines in these flat nose trucks obviously retain their value. I think that this is the W900 brand new out of the box. You're probably looking at about a $220,000 truck. Well, there you go. I mean, there's my update. Obviously, national average freight rates are very low. The cost of running a mile is currently at around $1.65, $1.75, depending on the truck that you have. If you want to know more about cost of running a mile and a deep analysis on the cost of running a mile, whether it's fuel consumption, financing your truck, financing your trailer, dispatch fees, factoring fees, we have all that in our dispatch course, or the course of the cost of running a mile, that I truly believe that everybody should be taking that course, whether you're a company driver or an owner operator, or thinking to become an owner operator, or thinking even to have your small fleet one day. Those two courses will definitely be a game changer for you. Well, hopefully you learned something from this video. I'd love to hear some of your comments. I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.